Here is reaction. Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, Fox News contributor Sarah Carter, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. All right. I want to get to the bottom of this. These 21 words are dead on accurate, Devin Nunes. This makes all the difference in the world. Finally, the FISA court gets to be heard from. Do you get to bring them before your committee?
Well, we don't get to bring the court before our committee, Sean, but it's really too little too late. I'm glad that the new justice there is actually taking some action. But like you said in the monologue, the Congress really has to open up all of FISA. It has to be looked at. Tonight, just got out of about an hour-and-a-half meeting with Attorney General Barr. He's got some great ideas. We still are suspect that the Democrats who control the House are actually going to allow us to get the reforms we need. Because, look, at the end of the day, we need FISA to protect this country, but not if it comes at the sake of our liberties that we would have to give up. And that's really what we're dealing with right now.
The 21 words, Greg Jarrett, I'll read them to you. There is thus little doubt the government breached its duty of candor to the court with respect to those applications. Let me interpret it and put it in Hannity speak, because we know they will warn numerous times. Premeditated fraud on a FISA court to take away one American's constitutional rights and spy on a president. It sounds like the FISA court either watches this show or they read the Inspector General report that vindicated all four of us.
It took 21 words from a judge to essentially say, hey, they lied to us. Americans have lost faith in the FISA court because they've lost faith in the FBI and the Department of Justice to tell the truth, to present honest evidence. And instead, in this particular case, they presented 51 lies, deceptions, omissions, the concealing of evidence, and as you point out, fraud. And the reforms I've seen so far, suggested by the independent monitor and endorsed by the FISA court, these are nothing but pretend reforms. These are things that the Department of Justice and the FBI is supposed to do under the law. So in my judgment, the only solution is to abolish FISA or adopt what Senator Rand Paul is advocating, and that is no more FISA spying on Americans. In other words, put foreign back into the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
If we don't do it right, I can't support it. And we need FISA. This is an evil, dangerous world. Sarah Carter, the main question I get everywhere I go, are these people going to be held accountable? The court is absolutely seeing everything we reported. It took us 3 years to get there. Devin told us the truth while the congenital liar lied. Will we get justice?
Well, Sean, it's absolutely imperative that there's justice. Otherwise, there's a two-tiered justice system in the United States, and the American people can clearly see that. And as far as FISA reform, I agree completely with Greg Jarrett on this. The changes have to come through Title I, and that's electronic surveillance of American citizens on U.S. soil. And we can't allow what happened to Carter Page to happen to anybody else, because that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. It's completely unacceptable. It's wrong. And unless they can make severe changes, like he said, maybe what Rand Paul says is true, take it back to foreign. Let's deal with that and abolish the system the way we know it and maybe rebuild it differently. We shouldn't trust that they're going to do their job. And this is what's really frightening here, because we don't know all the facts.
Devin, let me go back to you. I know we're spending time to get Julian Assange. Okay, WikiLeaks. I interviewed Assange about this topic, asked him tough questions. Did you get it from Russia? Did you get it from Russia? Did you get it? Asked him 10 different ways. Whether you believe it or not. WikiLeaks never been wrong in what they printed. We may not like how they get it, but we do have a First Amendment, freedom of the press. And we also have something called the Pentagon Papers. The guy I want extradited is Christopher Steele. Why aren't we going after him?
So remember, well, I think he should be extradited if Durham is in fact. Look, we're only relying on what Steele's saying to the publicly, so we don't really know what the truth is there. But remember this: you have Steele over in the UK talking about a dossier that he didn't even write. Let that sink in for a second. So you remember, this was written mostly by Fusion GPS. We know that because of Lee Smith's investigative work that he wrote about in the plot against the president.
He had an agenda. Kathleen Kavlak noted his agenda. He put out lies that impacted our election. And I want America to know one last thing. Devin Nunes, guy over there, that side of the screen, Devin Nunes is the guy that told us the truth. Devin Nunes warned us in 2014 the Russians would try and interfere in the 2016 election. Nobody listened to Devin Nunes. You were right then. We were right today. Thank you all.
You're very kind. Thank you, Sean.